portion of our service, and lucky you, you're stuck with me again. So, just a little bit about me is that, so, as I said earlier, my name is Gigi. I am a high school teacher and proud mom. I have been with the Rochester Spiritualist Society since our founding, and I'm just happy to share with you what I've learned throughout my life, because like all of us, if you make mistakes, you'll learn from them, and I've made plenty, so I've got plenty of lessons that I've learned to share. So, in the spirit of the new year, I figured I'd talk to you a little bit about new beginnings, and we'll touch a little bit on New Year's resolutions, because I know everyone here is always looking to self-improve as one of our, important tenets, that we are in control of our own lives and that we can choose and always walk a path of self-betterment. So every day is a world of new beginnings. But many of us do tend to wait for just the right time for a change. I'm guilty of that as well. And New Year's resolutions are honestly a really good example of this, because our traditions have transformed this very arbitrary date, when you think about it, of January 1st into a celebration that gives people the motivation, or perhaps even the permission, to focus or refocus your priorities. But wouldn't it be even better if we could give ourselves permission to change at any time? Don't get me wrong, if you're working towards a New Year's resolution, good for you. I'm proud of you. And I want you to keep up that momentum of what you've started. The point I want you to see is that you don't need to wait until January 1st to improve your life. Just like you don't need to wait until the first day of the month to join a new class or a new club. You don't need to wait until Monday to start a new project. And here's the one I'm guilty of most. You don't need to wait to the first minute of the hour to start studying. That's one that bit me in the butt many a time in college. Waiting for change does not create change. And when you word it that way, doesn't it just sound silly? Of course. Couldn't you get more done if you were able to motivate yourself to make your own opportunities, your own new beginnings, rather than waiting for a new year or that perfect time? So this is a mental shift that you have to learn to develop. And this simple truth is that change starts with your own worldview, with your own perspectives. To successfully create a new beginning, the change must first come from your heart before it will manifest in your everyday reality. What you believe and what you feel affects what happens to your world. Simply put, you probably already know this. Preaching to the choir, I'm aware. Change comes from within. And this is admittedly so much easier said than done. I feel that, because our willpower and our energy is a limited resource. We're only human. But if you take a moment to stop right there and be like, wait, why am I already making excuses? I'm human, that's an excuse. That's just another mental block to overcome. You are more than human. You are a soul housed in a human body. We often focus on our concrete limits rather than to be open to ourselves and the limitless possibilities of an abstract future. But as humans, as a soul, we are capable of seeing what could be, and better yet, we are capable of making that possibility into our new reality. We have imagination, we have creativity, we have ingenuity, all these amazing blessings from spirit. We have the ability to dream, and to dream big. We have people who love us, who will support us through our trials and through our triumphs. We have strong hands to administer elbow grease in tough situations. We have everything that we need to change, to make the change that we believe in happen. We just need to recognize that, to believe it and believe in our best, our higher selves. Because you are human, you also already have dozens of untapped resources in your mind that can be a catalyst, spurring this incredible change. But you do need to know what your strengths are in order to best use them. So let me tell you a few that I know about, because we are blessed with an arsenal of tools to help us succeed, to help us change, to grow, and they are already present in your mind. We just have to activate them. Your brain, and here's the scientist in me going on a little bit of a tangent, your brain is an association machine. You already have thousands of routines programmed into your psyche that you can activate at any moment's notice. So you just need to build on what you already have by adding a new, if A happens, then I will do B. So this is just your if-then clause. And believe me, you already are doing tons of those all the time without even thinking about it, unconsciously. So I'm going to give you an example of how I took a very daunting goal of mine and transformed that into a reality with the addition of a very simple if-then rule into my own life. So for those of you who do know me, you probably know that I'm quite proud of my German heritage, and being able to speak German fluently has been an important part of my identity since I was a child. But many of you probably don't know that I am actually the only member of my immediate family who has actually prioritized preserving my ancestral language. I'm the only one who's fluent out of my parents, out of my siblings. It's only me. The last fluent member of my family was my grandmother. And it's really hard to get regular practice speaking a language when no one in your house bothers to speak it. But thankfully, I did have the blessing of a formal education to give me lots of practice opportunities as a child and throughout my early adulthood. And then I was able to speak fluently, despite not speaking the language at home, because I took so many formal classes. And even when I ran out of classes available, I literally arranged with my college professors to do independent studies on German literature that interested me. Like, I made learning opportunities for myself. So it was easy to maintain fluency then because I had that regular routine. But once I graduated, those opportunities for me disappeared. And my infrequent interactions with my extended family was not enough to sustain my fluency. And every time my great aunts visited from Bavaria, it was a bigger and bigger struggle for me to be able to communicate with them. It was painfully obvious out of college that I was losing my language skills. And to add to my frustration, my other family members still expected me to translate. Yeah, real kick in the butt there. So change needed to happen because losing my ability to speak German was not an acceptable change, in my opinion. And change did happen for me, but it wasn't on New Year's. It wasn't on a Monday. It wasn't even on the first day of the month. It was the middle of July. And it was in the middle of an awkward conversation over drinks where I was asked to translate a joke that included a pun. And for anyone here who is bilingual, you are very aware that puns, wordplay, do not work across languages. So I changed the topic. I excused myself to go to the bathroom, and while I was hiding in the bathroom, I pulled out my smartphone and I downloaded a new app. A language refresher app. And just like that, I had accidentally created a new if-then rule by adding a new clause to my existing bathroom routine. And here's my rule, as awkward as it feels to say out loud: if I am on the toilet, then I will use my Duolingo app to practice some German. I'm going to be saying the word toilet a lot. Get your giggles out now. So it was that simple. And that simple rule made huge changes over time because it was immediate, it was easy to implement, and it was something I was able to improve and add on to as I progressed. So let's take a moment to think about that wording for a moment. Again, get your giggles out. If I am on the toilet, then I will use my Duolingo app to practice German. Compare that to the more nebulous, I will practice German at least once every day. It doesn't feel that unspecific, but the truth is there's a lot of pitfalls in that. The if-then statement is easy to follow because the directions are very clear and specific. The directions use this short chunk of time, and that for the most time is wasted anyways. I don't know what you do on the toilet, but I don't waste that time anymore. Why not multitask when you're in the bathroom? I will practice at least once a day. Well, when will I practice? For how long? Like, what am I using to practice? Like, every question that is present in a goal is a pitfall that hinders your change from happening. So at first, I didn't follow my Duolingo toilet bathroom rule perfectly. It took time for me to get into a regular, always routine. But every time I did follow that rule, I was contributing towards my goal, and I was able to see progress. That's a real great motivator to build into your resolutions, a way for you to see progress, to keep that motivation going. And then I started to add other new clauses to encourage more practice. When I'm waiting in my car, not driving, mind you, then I will practice German on my Duolingo app. If I am watching TV on Netflix, then I will turn on subtitles or dubs. If I'm making a grocery list, I will write down my ingredients in German. If I'm talking to my daughter alone at home, then I will talk to her in German. She's a toddler. It doesn't matter what I say to her. She's not going to listen anyways. So all these little if-then clauses add up to really big changes. I had been at risk of losing my ability to speak a language that I love and to communicate with people who I love. And now I can consistently maintain and improve fluency regardless of my life situation. In fact, I improved my confidence in my speaking abilities so much that my husband and I actually celebrated by traveling to Germany for once instead of having my, poor ancient great aunts schlep all the way to the United States to visit us. And we'll be going again this summer, taking our daughter with, so that she can actually step foot in our ancestral home where my grandmother was, it'd be where her great-grandmother was born. I'm excited. I am. But speaking German, the point is that it became a regular part of my everyday routines. And it, as a, added bonus, it's become a bigger part of my personal identity, a part of my pride. So my desired goal, that big change, it didn't take astronomical amounts of willpower, just regular, consistent bits of effort. It didn't even require like a huge change in my mental worldview. I just had to realize the power of building off my life's already existing routines. And it definitely didn't take me a special time of the year to start, because you just have to realize that special moment to change your life is right now, today, as soon as you get done with the service. Every day is a world of new beginnings, and every moment that you are alive is a wealth of opportunities that are within your reach. Every time you look within yourself, you are fueling your own ability to change, to grow, and to manifest your dreams. So I ask you right now to take a moment of reflection and to think to yourself, what big change do I want in my life And what little if-then rule could I add to my regular routine today to make that change happen? And if you need help figuring out how to design that little if-then rule, I encourage you also to stay after service today for a little bit of snacks. I made snickerdoodles, and we also have gluten-free cookies. Thank you, Dale. And we'll do like a very quick, like little 15-minute workshop, just so that you can get some practice in how to turn your New Year's resolutions or just general life goals into achievable, manageable, bite-sized goals that you can invest in every day and see progress every day. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.